Hello, today's topic is comparative adjectives. Their use is to talk about differences between two things, people, or events. In this unit, we talk about different forms of communication. So the example I wrote is video calls are more fun than phone calls. Going to learn first how to form the comparative form of an adjective for adjectives that only have one syllable. And some of the adjectives with two syllables, we have to add ER to the end to make it a comparative. For example, the adjective quick only has one syllable. Quick. So then at the end, we put ER. And the example we have, because again, we're seeing forms of communication, texting is quicker than calling. Quick means fast, by the way. An exception to this one syllable rule is the adjective fun. Fun only has one syllable, but to make the comparative, we're going to use more before the word fun. Webcams are more fun than instant messaging. You already know that there are always spelling rules to add endings to words, and the adjectives are not an exception. So we need to talk about the spelling rules to add ER. If your one-syllable adjective ends in E, then you only need to add an R. For example, nice, one syllable, it ends in E. So to make the comparative, all we put is an R at the end, nicer. Real cards are nicer than e-cards. For your adjectives ending in a consonant and then a Y, we have to change the Y to I and add an ER. Here, busy, the S is a consonant, and then here we have a Y, so we're going to erase the Y, put an I, and add ER. I am busier than my sister. Remember, I told you you can also compare people. Most of the adjectives that end in a consonant, vowel, and consonant, we have to double the final consonant and then add ER. For example, the word big, here we have consonant, the letter I is a vowel, and the letter G is a consonant. So there's consonant, vowel, consonant. So we put double of the final letter, which is G, and then we add ER. So B-I-G, it's big, changes to B-I-G-G-E-R, bigger. For example, elephants are bigger than dogs. We have another exception to the previous rule. I know we love exceptions. This exception is that we do not double a consonant in words ending in W, even if it follows the consonant, vowel, consonant rule. Slow, we have slow. That's one syllable. L is a consonant, O is a vowel, and W is a consonant. But we're not going to put double W, okay? Not slower with two W's. Only one. Slower. Bicycles are slower than cars. When your adjective has two or more syllables, you're going to use more before the adjective. For example, the word personal has three. Personal. Three syllables. So we're going to use more before the adjective to make the comparative form. For example, real cards are more personal than e-cards. So in summary of all that, if your adjective has one syllable and it is not the word fun, it's going to end in ER for the comparative form. If it has two syllables, some two-syllable adjectives have an ER at the end. Others have more in front of the adjective. You have to do some research on that, depending on the word that you're going to use. And if your adjective has three syllables or more, it's definitely going to use more before the adjective. We can also use less with adjectives and comparisons. Less is the opposite of more. And the example I have here is video conferences are less expensive than trips. Expensive means it costs a lot of money. So what this means is that video conferences cost less money than trips. And trips means when you travel to some place. We also have irregular comparative adjectives. There are a few, but the most important ones are good and bad because you use those all of the time. Good in the comparative form changes to better. In my opinion, cake is better than candy. And bad changes to worse. Cold weather is worse than hot weather. It's important that you don't write gooder or badder because those are both incorrect. You have to remember this form. Than is a word that we use after the comparative adjective to compare two nouns in the same sentence. Okay? That's the important part. In the same sentence. But you don't always need than, and you don't always need to use both nouns in the sentence. For example, here, texting is quicker than calling. It's more fun. Here, I don't need to use than because I already mentioned what is more fun. Texting is more fun than calling. I know that because of the first sentence. This is just another comparison about texting and calling. I don't need to write texting is more fun than calling again. I already know what I am comparing.